Gone Fishing with Captain Mac Farr presents Fish Tales. The weighing, measuring, and story swapping is over, and it's time to release those fish back into the water. So where do they go? A recent study involving radio telemetry suggests that the majority go home. Scientists at Lake Opeongo, Ontario, displaced 18 smallmouth bass similar to actual tournament releases about 4 miles from their capture site. 15 of the 18 made the return trip in less than 4 days, rarely moving 70 feet offshore and avoiding open water altogether. This sense of direction assures that when fish are handled well by considerate sportsmen, they will continue to contribute to the fishery. This has been Bits and Bites from the files of Fish Tales.
Our terminal rigging is very simple on the down rod. Basically, think of it as a Carolina rig. We've got a swivel, and this is a Captain Mac's swivel sinker. This particular size is a 2-ouncer. Then we've got a leader, about 4 feet, 3.5, 4 feet, and then a hook. And this is a 1/0 hook. And the main thing we hook, make sure it's got a good point and it's got enough strength to handle a fish that can easily weigh 12, 15 pounds or greater like the stripers can. Now you want your leader fairly long like this, not so much it helps you get an extra bite, but almost every time you catch a fish or every other time, you're gonna need to retie. A lot of times the hook will be down in the fish's mouth and this part of the line may be frayed. You need to check it every time. That way if you need to retie a couple times, you don't have to tie the whole leader. You can keep retying until it gets too short to use. So again, sinker, leader, good stout fish hook, and you're in business. Okay, going under the boat. Come on. I'll tell you what, if you want to go under the boat, Mr. Fish, I'll just come over here with you. See what we got here. This one's gonna make old Mac work hard. And just put this one back over here. Kind of like a fire drill we're having here. All right, let's see what we got. There he is. Oh, he's a pretty one too. He's got mother line there. We'll worry about that later. Now he's caught. I'll tell you, that one, old hook went right in the roof of his mouth there. These are big fish, big tough mouths. Always a good idea after you hook one, check the point of your hook, the very point. Particularly a lot of the really good high-end hooks have very sharp, very fine points, which is good. But a lot of times the actual point of the hook will bend. And if it's got a good bend in it, when you get another bite, you may not get the hook up. In this case, this one feels good. It's not bent, it's nice and sharp. So all we need to do is put another bait there and send him back down. We'll be in business. But that's just a little point that'll catch you an extra fish now and then. The blueback herring, like a striper, are anadromous fish that live in the salt water and come into fresh water and spawn. And if you fished in coastal areas, you may have seen this same fish used for bait there. And they make great striper bait. Be sure and check your regulations because they're not necessarily legal in all impoundments. Now, the blueback, to hook him, best way we found is to take him, and you want to handle him very gently. We're going to pick him up out of the net. We're going to hook him not through the eyes, but in the eye socket, right in front of the eyes, just like that. Be real easy. You want to handle them very carefully because they're very fragile. You knock a lot of scales off of them, so handle them as gently as possible. When you put him in the water, don't just throw him in the water. Hold him up with your rod and kind of ease him into the water. Now in the case of summertime fishing like this, when we got surface temperatures that may be as high as the upper 80s, when you put him in the water, go ahead and drop him down. Get him out of the warm water down into the thermocline where you're fishing. And the water in our tank is in the upper 60s, low 70s, and the water on the surface is 10, 12, maybe 15 degrees warmer. So you can put him in shocks. You want to get him in the water, get him down to the proper depth, and that'll keep him good and lively down there on the hook, keep him kicking and swimming, and hopefully get the attention of a big hungry striper.